Oh! Welcome everyone to Q&A time with PewDiePie. For some reason you guys like these. Thank you. God, I hate these stories. I don't care. Stop posting them. Anyway, I posted one asking you guys to ask me questions. So let's go. Obviously, there are news sources that you don't agree with or like, but are there any you actually recommend? Of course, this may be controversial. I think there's definitely a couple that are good, but I think there's an underlying issue with most of them where it's as if journalists' jobs functions the same way as it does for YouTubers, where they're paid for clicks on their articles. So they're highly motivated to get more people to read their article, and that leads to a lot of clickbait. It leads to a lot of hot takes. And it makes me wonder what happened to journalism when it used to be subscription-based, so they didn't have to rely on these tactics. That being said, why do we as an audience care about any of these sites anyway? Just because they have a news website, we give it some sort of voice of authority, when in reality, most people don't seem to care anyway. So, I don't know. It's like even sometimes when there's a hot take on a website that no one's heard about, but you see that it's a news website, so you're like, oh my god, this is so stupid. But in reality, it's like, it doesn't matter. I guess my point is I'm over it. I don't care. No, that's not true, but I hope people will be as well. What are your future goals after YouTube? Implying there's going to be an after YouTube. Do you think YouTube will exist? Let's say I have a career until I'm 60 or 65. Do you think YouTube in 30 years is still going to be the biggest platform for video content? It's not impossible, but it doesn't seem that likely that YouTube is just going to be the top website forever. And if I keep making videos for that long time, I don't think it matters if I'm on YouTube or not on YouTube. I think what matters more is if I still want to make videos at that point, which I don't know the answer to. Where do you see yourself 20 years later? Okay, here's the question. I don't know. Do anyone know that? I think I just realized who I am as a person, and I am very into the things I like to do. Right now, I still really like to do YouTube, but I also think I have a lot more to give, which sounds very naive. I just feel it myself that I'm capable of more things than what I'm doing. And sometimes I'm worried that I'm trapped to make the same daily kind of videos and not working on bigger things. And if I'm not sure if that is holding me back or if that's something I should just keep pursuing. Why are you talking much about politics in the last month? I don't think I have. Have I? How do you motivate yourself when you don't want to do something but you have to get it done? Write down a list. That's always the best thing. Whenever I think I'm stuck and I know I have things to do and I'm procrastinating, I always write down a bullet point list of the things that I need to get done today. And that way you can start chipping off the easy bits, and then you can get a clear schedule in your head on how you're gonna make that done. Make a video, make a thumbnail, prep the video, prep tomorrow's video, answer emails, work out, read, go home. Or practice Japanese. There you go. That's what my day looks like. Which YouTuber was the most fun to collaborate with? I think I have the most fun when I record with Jack and Ken, because we are actual genuine friends. Obviously, it's really fun to go outside and collaborate with random people. It's the kind of thing where, as a YouTuber, you're benefited to network, right? It's beneficial to reach out to people that you wouldn't normally engage with. Just as a way to broaden your scope of brand and all that. But I find that to be very... I don't like networking. I think it's dishonest and try-hardy and gross in general. What's your actual net worth? You've hinted it being higher than Google says, and what do you do with that money? Do you have invested in stocks or bonds? Could you give us a brief overview what you do with your money? Right now, it's very messy because I'm set up in Sweden and UK, so I have like 4 or 5 companies. I have some invested in stocks and bonds, but I think overall, I don't really spend it on anything personally because I don't like having things around me. I find it very annoying. I think media likes to undervaluate me now after I became more controversial. Like in the Forbes top list, I know I'm higher than a lot of other YouTubers on that list, but they always seem to put me lower now. And that's why I'm saying like it is bigger, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's so unimportant. I don't know. I don't know what's important to me. It's not money. It's really not. I think money for people is like an itch. People want it because they don't know what it's like to experience it. And then you have it and you're like, actually, I feel the same way now. When you retire from YouTube, would you consider founding a network, something so other YouTubers can reach their dreams like you? Well, surprise. I used to have a network with Disney. called Rebel Mode. And that was the idea. I realized that there are so many ways that I can create a company or do all these things, but I don't care. It's boring. I have the dream job, right? Making YouTube videos is what I signed up to do because I want to do it. For me to go into other businesses would be a lot of time commitment and very boring, as I've learned. It's extremely boring compared to YouTube. You have to want it if you want to pursue a business separately. And I've already made money, so there's no incentive. To be honest, I feel like a lot of times like a hypocrite because I keep saying I don't care about money, but I'm obviously still generating a lot of money. I'm still selling merch. I'm still putting mid-rolls in my videos. I'm still doing sponsors, and it's like, well, if I don't care about money, why do I do these things? In a way, it feels like you're validating your work by making money. I know that maybe not makes sense at all. But then again, the way you make YouTube videos and how successful your channel is ties into how you're making money as well. If your video makes a lot of money, YouTube is going to recommend that video more as well. Does that make sense? I hope in 2019 I can start living by my own ideals more. Does that make sense? What's something you wish YouTube would change? Anything you'd like to see come back? Put me back in Google Preferred, YouTube. That reminds me, actually. I think that's why I got so caught up with the... I'm looking at myself now, but I can understand why I want to make more money. It's because of what happened in 2017, when the Wall Street Journal article came out. My show was canceled. I was kicked out of Google Preferred. Getting brand deals was so much harder. You know, they didn't want to touch me. So I wanted to prove, okay, well, you know, I don't need to work with big brands. I don't need to be a family-friendly brand to make it and to still earn the same living. So I have to be, you know, I wanted to show that I could do that, and that's why I worked myself into that. You know, I got to work with a lot of cool opportunities still. Like Clutch is one of those companies that were actually loyal to me, even though all that stuff happened. And I think that's really cool. And other brands as well that I'm really happy I can work with. But yeah, I think it's gotten to a point where it feels a bit much, doesn't it? Why don't you collaborated videos with Markiplier anymore? I think our content swayed in different directions. People seem to think there's beef between us. That's not it at all. It's literally just... I think we probably have a mutual respect for each other, but we don't have that kind of relationship where we have to collaborate to maintain anything. I don't know. It's like if you don't interact with someone online, that means you hate each other. That's how people perceive it online. The way the audience perceives relationships and how it is in real life is completely different from reality. And I understand that's hard to understand, maybe, but it'd be great if people aren't blowing all of it up for no reason. Okay. What were the hardest and best moments of your YouTube career, and have you always enjoyed the content you make? Well, I'll start with the first one. I think both of those things happened this year. Best moment was obviously the wedding, and I got to share that on YouTube. But also some of the hardest happened this year as well. And it's mainly stuff that I've sort of dealt with behind the scenes. A lot of things that it becomes more complicated if you address it online, basically. But that can also be very frustrating because the whole way I've dealt with things on this channel has been, I talk about it, I address it, and I get support from my audience when I do it, and that's a way for me to deal with a lot of hardship that comes with YouTube. And then to answer, have I always enjoyed the content I make? It goes up and down. I think in general, when I find myself not enjoying what I make, that's when I try different things, and based on what you guys think of it, I go in different directions, and that's the fun of YouTube. I think that's why it's always changing for me, and I'm not doing the same things all the time. How long do you plan on doing YouTube? I've been getting this question so much. All the time, because yeah, I said I was gonna go on a break, and because things have sort of wrapped up for me almost. You know, I got married, I hit 100 million. You know, it would be a good time to just end it on a high. And it's kind of annoying almost how people keep asking, like as if I should quit. Like, when are you quitting? Are you thinking about it? Maybe you should do it. I love YouTube, and I think I have more to give. I know that's kind of naive to say, but I generally think so. And sometimes I question whether, if it's possible for me to achieve more by the format I'm doing now, since I'm uploading every single day. And if it has longevity in the sense of I don't really have days off right now. This year has just been extremely busy. It's been the busiest year of my life. And I've already had extremely busy years before where I practically broke down. So I hope I can find better balance for me to keep doing YouTube. If every year was like it was this year, then no, I would not do it for very long. What makes you so interested in Japan culture or Japan in general? It's like people think you're a weeb just because you like Japan. Anime is like the least thing that interests me about Japan. Obviously, their culture is so rich and it's so different from the West. And I think a lot of their values and way of interacting fits in with me as well. It's hard to just point at one thing and say, this is what I like, when it's a lot of different things. Do you still have the same passion for making videos as you had 10 years ago? Has it reduced or increased? I would say it's pretty much the same. I think there was more excitement because there was so much more growth in the beginning. And you go from nothing to something big in a time. But in general, I still really like it. Because I think I'm still pushing myself to do different things. I've been doing like this philosophy type of videos and more of a different style that I'm not used to, and that's been getting a lot of good feedback. So that makes me excited to try out different things. So yeah, how's Markiplier doing? Can you guys please record another Try Not to Cringe challenge together? You guys are couple goals. Love watching you both being in love, love laughing together and bring us all a smile. Markiplier's doing great. I think she did quit YouTube to kind of leave YouTube, and she definitely wouldn't mind being in a video, but I don't really want to drag her into that hemisphere. And I understand once you left it, you don't want to be back into it. That's how I would feel, at least. If I left YouTube, I wouldn't want to keep being, hey guys! Why don't you play horror games again, Pewds? I like the old PewDiePie. I do play if there's a horror game that's out that's interesting. I think I played some Amnesia mod recently, and it was like the worst performing video I've done in forever. So I know there's some people that want something, but in general, you look at the bigger picture and it's like, ugh. I'll do it from time to time if I feel like it, but in general, it feels like something I've already done. Once you play enough horror games, you understand the premise, you understand the whole thing, and it becomes a bit redundant. I do it mainly as a way for nostalgia at this point. It's kind of like as if I went back to play Happy Wheels all of a sudden. It's just merely for the sake of nostalgia, and it has no value in itself. It's just repetition, which kind of bores me a little bit. Serious question: how does constant media coverage, both positive and negative, affect your well-being? I imagine having your friends, family stumbling upon one of the countless articles written about oneself must be taking a toll on anyone's mental health after so many years. Stay healthy, everyone. Mental well-being, I don't think it affects me. If it has, it would have done in the past. It's something in general, it's like you cross a line and it's like it doesn't matter. You just realize it doesn't matter. I think in general, they're just digging their own grave at this point, and it's just a matter of time where there's going to be a whole new generation that don't believe in their credibility anymore. Do you see people taking photos of you in secret? Yeah, it happens all the time. One of Polish YouTubers said he took a photo of you when he was in UK because he didn't want to disturb. And I wonder if you see people do that, and what do you think about it? It's extremely cringy. It happened actually when I was in Italy now. Some guy did this and then the flash went off and I'm just like, really? And then they don't even go, and the worst part is afterwards they go up and be like, hey, can we do photo? I'm like, you just took a photo. It's super cringy. I hate the fact that people look at me like I'm some sort of attraction. I'm a person like everyone else, and I want to be treated like a person. I don't think that's too much to ask. I hate the whole culture of, oh, it's you, blah, 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 blah. I'm so tired of it. And that's why I said, if you meet me, what you have to say is math related to science? Because that's how I know if you're a clout chaser or if you're a genuine 19-year-old. The way people react, what I found in different countries is very different, right? If you go to countries like Malaysia and Singapore, people are very hectic and squeamish and crazy, and they lose their mind if they see you. And they do all this crazy stuff. And then you look at countries like, when I go back to Sweden, people are more like me, more reserved, very polite and calm, and just, and more, I would say, a lot nicer about it, which I really, really appreciate. So that makes me think the whole way people react isn't just like, oh, a natural reaction of being nervous. It's just like a trained reaction of, okay, so this is how I'm supposed to act if I see a famous person. So me complaining about it isn't like that I'm fed up with it. It's more like I want to change it. I love meeting fans, don't get me wrong, but I also want people to just treat me normally as well. And I don't like when people scream. I don't like when people get freaked out. And I understand you get excited. That's not what I'm talking against. I think there is like a culture to treat people like they are more than they are. And that annoys me. But to answer your question, People taking photos in secret, yeah, that's rude and annoying. And it's cringy as hell because I can see it a lot of time happening. Where do you see YouTube in 2 years from now? Will they actually listen to the community anymore? Or will they turn entirely into an advertiser platform that doesn't care about community feedback, just demonize all borderline content? It seems like they are making steps to improve towards edgy content. I've seen them do that with advertisers. YouTube does have to face with a lot of with the reality of backlash that comes from the media that is inevitably going to affect their advertisers. That is a difficult position to be in, to sort of look at the bigger picture. But then at the same time, you have a website that's for creators, but the creators needs advertisers. I wonder if YouTube just had the balls to just stand their ground, how that would affect it, because they are essentially a monopoly. I will say, I think it's obviously complicated, and in a lot of ways I understand YouTube, but at the same time, I think they made decisions in the past that are so anti-YouTuber that I wonder it's going to take them a lot to come back to a better point with the community, I think. And I think if YouTube wants to have longevity, even if they do have monopoly, they need to get that back. Nothing is forever, you know? They could easily become another website in the future. I don't see that as an impossibility at all. You've taken up many other passions beside YouTube, such as making video games. What would be another passion you would like to take up? I think music could be fun to work with. I know that's really cliche. That's like what a lot of YouTubers do. But I think it could be a fun medium for me to express a lot of ideas and thoughts that it's hard to put into words in a video. I think, yeah, music could be an interesting medium to do that. Will you make more philosophical videos like the I Hate Twitter video? Yeah, I will definitely make more. I have some stuff I sort of just let it simmer in the back of my mind whenever I feel like thinking about something. So I just make it when it comes natural. I try not to force it. How do you deal with a lot of hate alone? Well, I think the important bit is to understand that everyone is a f***ing moron. No, yeah. Sorry, it's making me laugh because I'm joking, but it's also true. But only because you also have to be honest with yourself and see, okay, if someone says something that is making me feel a little uncomfortable because maybe there's some truth in it, then I think it's important to address that and use that as constructive criticism. But I think once you get something that is just purely stupid with no logic behind it or constructive feedback behind it, then yeah, I treat everyone like they're an idiot, which a lot of people are. I swear, the internet is like the smartest and dumbest thing ever. I don't remember if I answered it this way, but if you could change something this year, what would you change, if anything? Definitely try and find a better balance between work and time off. What do you like so much about Japan that you are moving there? Is it being able to walk around in public without getting recognized? There's a lot of things that I like about Japan. It's definitely not only that, but that's definitely a plus. It's one of the few Asian countries where I can actually move around and not get recognized, which is very liberating, because every time you meet someone, they just want something from you. They want that picture. If I can't draw the distinction if they're a genuine fan and if they're just someone that thinks you're famous, that's kind of soul-crushing in a way. Where are the kids, Felix? Oh boy. So for years and years and years, people have been pressuring me and Marcia to get married, and now we finally did. And where are the kids? God, it's so annoying. I wish people didn't ask, to be honest, because it should come from us, and it shouldn't come from like, I don't want to be pressured about it. It's no, stop. It's like I say the smallest thing, like, oh, I'm taking a break, and people are like, oh, he's gonna make baby, or like, I don't know. If you had the choice between Amnesia and Minecraft, what would you pick? Well, Minecraft, obviously. Do you think your content gets better or worse compared to, let's say, 2017? Do you think you try more or less when making a video compared to that time? I probably try more because the videos kind of have to be a little longer now. So it does make it a little bit more complicated. Before, you can just record like 10 minutes and cut it down to a 5-minute video. I think the main thing I noticed with all the videos is the voice. My voice is so different. Like, how's it going, bro? Hey, how? It's just so cringy to me. I hope I finally found a voice that is actually my voice. I hope in 21, I look back at now and I don't cringe. Yeah, I don't know. Why you look depressed? For real, please tell us why. Do I look depressed? No, I'm not. Don't even, it's so weird. I think mainly I'm just frustrated. I think so much happened this year that I didn't take time to process, and it's also part of the reason of this break, I think. How did you overcome video awkwardness, and what was your motivation when you started making videos? That's funny how you mentioned that, because yeah, it was very awkward to make videos the first time you do it. It's like, a weird thing to speak into a microphone or a camera. It's not normal. It takes practice. So just keep doing it and you'll get over it. My motivation was to just create my own path and find something that I liked. I felt very trapped doing something that I didn't enjoy. I think I'm extremely fortunate to have broken out of that. The fact that I was able to turn YouTube into a profession was my dream. It still is. I'm so happy I can do a job that I genuinely enjoy doing. I think the only thing like this, to summarize this whole video, is like, I love making videos, but being at the position I am, it's way more than I bargained for. So I hope things can just simmer down a little bit, and next year I can take some time to fully process a lot of it as well. And that's it for this Q&A. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to me rambling about boo-hoo, my laugh so hard. And that's it. Bye-bye. Hej då.
Behold! For too long you have been farting in the darkness. Now, you are entering a new era where you shall craft thy own poop. The hour of fart spells and poop grades is coming! Marcia, Edgar, and Butt Elves need your help. The time where you will face butt crawlers is almost at hand. When you are seated on the porcelain throne, pooping is the game to play. I'm not supposed to have my opinion about that, but the prize is